welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha and I am a new homeschooling mom of 4 kiddos. I have one going into 5th grade, 3rd grade, and 1st grade. In today's video, I am going to be giving you guys a look inside the Gather Round Homeschool North America unit. And if you like these kind of videos, please go ahead and hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me and I would love to have you as a part of my community. So the North America unit I have here is the teacher's guide. And then my 1st grader will be using the Prereader. 3rd will use early elementary. And my son who's going into 5th grade, he will be using the upper elementary. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around and give you guys a look on the inside of each one of these books so you can get an idea of what to expect in the North America unit. So let's start with the teacher's guide. So as you see here, you will always be able to find just a few pages inside of your teacher's guide the suggested books for each level. So here is the pre-reader and then you have the early reader. So these books aren't something that are required of you, but I like to think of it as a guide of using it as a way to easily know of titles that pertain directly to the unit that we are in. I don't buy every single book. I go through and I look at the list and I try to see which ones my kids would be most interested in. And then I also will sometimes add in some other books that aren't in these lists. And so then there's early elementary, upper elementary, middle and high school. And I really love the resources and games here because this gives me a chance to find some other things like in the earth science unit. Because of the resource section, I was able to grab the gemstones, rocks and minerals kits, and then again the volcano kit and the weather lab. And so then here's some suggested games and then some movies that would potentially be something that you would want to watch with your kiddos. And again, these are just their suggestions, not something that you have to do. You can always find movies and games on your own, but I like the guide. And so here is the lesson planner, and it is actually a goal of mine this upcoming school year to be better about using this planner that's here in the unit and just being able to go in and write down the video clips or resource books or games that we would use that go to each lesson. And then here we have a notes page and then shopping list. I don't ever usually use either of these either, but they're nice to have. And then here is the table of contents. And so starting with lesson 1, we have introduction, Greenland, Northern Canada, British Columbia, the prairies and Ontario, Eastern Canada, Northern United States, Western United States, Midwest and Mountain West, Northeastern United States, Southern United States, Mexico, Cuba, the Bahamas, Haiti, Jamaica, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. And so these are the 20 lessons, so also the 20 regions that we will be studying in this unit. And then it goes right into starting off. So I won't flip through every lesson. I'm just going to grab a few pages and give you an idea of what you can find in each one of these unit studies and how they're laid out. So this would be starting with unit 1. And here where it says North America quick facts, you will see that on every lesson there will be a quick facts section. And me and my kids love to read that out, and every unit just has really awesome, interesting facts there. And so here you can find at the end of your reading, you'll always see what the assignment is. And then this is newer because even in our earth science unit, I haven't seen this section, but this is for hands-on activity. And so like this one says, make a diorama of one of the habitats found in North America and mold animals out of clay for it. or you can make a picture book about one of the habitats, drawing the features and animals found there. So I think this is really awesome that they've added this in. My kids are gonna love this part of the unit. And so here you have your data glance, and you'll have one of these for every lesson. So optional spelling words, and then it'll show whatever so like social studies, geography here, and then it'll tell you like what you're doing. So there's the notebooking, and then what early reader and early elementary are doing, upper elementary, middle, and high school. And then again, here's more information, and it does that for each subject. And this will be for each lesson. And I always love these activity breaks. We don't do every single one of them, but I love that Gather Round has the option for a few additional activities that you can do with your kids to dig in a little deeper into the lesson of the day. And there's several of these in each lesson, which is really nice. And then you can see here there's also extension activities that you can do to also, again, dig a little deeper into the unit. So I'll take you through what you can likely see out of these. So as you can see, going into the United States here, there's introduction, feature, landmark, land and animals. And then you have food, and then history and culture over here. And this is something, all of these different sections are something that you'll find in each one of the units. The subject might be a little different, but you'll always see what in bold what your subject is, and then all of your information. Beautiful pictures. I love that Gather Round Homeschool is incorporating more and more of their own original watercolor artwork, because it is stunning. They do amazing work, the artists. And then as you get to the end here, this is the appendix. In some of the earlier units that I have, all of the flashcards and things of that sort used to be back here in the teacher's guide. I am finding more and more now that they are in my students' handbooks, so that may be the case for all of these newer units, and they may have actually revised that in some of the older ones too. So as of right now, in these last units that I have, the North America, South America human body, back here in the appendix there isn't anything, but I will show you what's in my student books. So for the first student book, let's go ahead and flip through the Prereader first. And like I've mentioned in the past, my teacher's guide was purchased print directly from Gather Round Homeschool, and then I had my student books printed at Barnes & Noble, which I don't recommend doing. The quality is just not as good. So we'll start here in lesson 1, and this is what you can find in most of your pre-reader lessons throughout year 1. And I know that they are making some changes in year 2, and because those aren't out yet, I don't have that to show you currently right now. But in these units of pre-reader, you can find the very first page is always going to be a coloring picture, and then you'll go on to your sight words. So here it'll be see, and I love that they do read it, trace it, find it, color it, write it, spell it, and every now and then they'll also add in the option to cut it out and for you to spell it that way. And so then there is math in the pre-reader. You will not find that in the other units. So after pre-reader, you will have to have your own math, you will have to have a separate math curriculum. So here's just some simple addition with items. And so this is always really good for my daughter to give her more of a visual. And then here is the language arts, and this is the journaling. And so because, at least for my daughter, she isn't quite able to completely write out her thoughts yet, so I will read over these topics with her, and she decides which one she wants to do, and then she will dictate it to me, and then I write it out for her, and then we will read it back together. And so here it looks like this is the science, and so it looks like the seasons, and then they'll have some matching to do there. And so I will show you the difference between the two lessons. As you saw in lesson 1, there was the sight word practice. So then as we come to lesson 2, again, they will always start off with a coloring page. But here is where they're going to have that word family practice with reading practice. So practicing the ag here. So first letter at the word family sound, and then they'll go on that way. And then here's some more, here's another activity with the word family, and then some more math, and then here's that right versus responsibility. And this looks like she will either be able to draw pictures or again dictate to me, and I will write it out for her. And so now that we saw the difference in how the lessons are set up between sight words and word families, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly flip through the rest of pre-reader. And I love that this is in here for writing practice, because this is something that I have actually been working on with my daughter for a little over a year now. So she can say these things, but she can't write them out yet. And then here's some more reading practice. And I will say I love, love, love the fact that Gather Round Homeschool included the dots. Touching the word for reading is so important, but my daughter, it's not her favorite thing to do, but when she sees the dots here, it reminds her that she has to. So it really helps her to see the word, touch the word, say the word, and not say something that she's not seeing, because she does have a habit of sometimes saying words that aren't there when she's reading if she's not touching it. And so here's some temperature practice. And then I love that they have the number lines on there. Again, a different, more math practice, but in a different way, with the dots rather than the fruit or other objects. And so unscrambling, and it looks like making their own little book here. Some first practice of Romans 6:23. Okay, so it looks like we made it to the end here. So like I said, here's the appendix in the pre-reader, and here's where you can find your flashcards that you can print out or cut out. And I like to cut them out and laminate them because then she can practice with the dry erase marker of writing them. And it just helps to save on paper and make sure that she can reuse them over and over again. And so then here's calendar practice. There's the Spooner bucks, and then looks like this is for lesson 3. So anytime you're going to need the cutouts or number line, calendar, 10 frames, the Spooner bucks, any of those sorts of things, you can always find them in the appendix of your pre-reader book. And that is all for pre-reader, early elementary. Okay, so we can go through the scope and sequence of the early elementary level really quickly. So here we have geography, and in geography there's going to be mapping, flags, bodies of water, mountains, landforms. Then we have social studies, which I really love. I do plan on pairing this North America unit study with the US government. I know that North America is more than the United States, but we will go over a lot of social studies, United States social studies also in this unit, and I just thought that they would be good to pair together. And then also what will help my kids to see the difference in government types in comparison to the United States. So I think that's important. So then here we have the history, science, Bible, art, and language arts. And then you can see draw, color, paint for art, language arts, communicating, spelling, grammar. And then there's all of the, like, so many Bible verses that they get to read in the Gather Round Unit Studies, and I just love that so much. And here is the reading log. We currently haven't been using these, but it is my intention to have them use this going forward once we start the new school year. There's a few pages of that. And then again, table of contents, which will match up with what's in the teacher's guide. And then it says here, appendix is where the cutouts and the flashcards will be. So I will show you with lesson 1 how it starts out. There is a coloring. I don't think that every lesson in the higher levels have a coloring page. So here we go. Lesson 1 starts off with social studies and geography. That's what that looks like. Science. And then here we have Bible, language arts and Bible. And then here's spelling. So there's all different sorts of activities in these. I love it. My kids love to do the word searches, and I love that there's a variety of them included. And so when I show you the upper elementary, you'll notice that there's a lot more writing required of the students. So here, like, you can write out or even draw what you learned about from the lessons reading, to draw, color the flag, label, and then to write something that they learned. The upper elementary is going to have a little bit more writing and more labeling and coloring from memory added into it. And also, like here, where you'll be matching the answer to the question. In upper elementary, they will likely be required to actually write out the answer. And you'll see that because I do have my son who is in upper elementary. And there's always these options for rabbit trails. And so this is just like robust extension that you can add into the lesson. And honestly, I will sometimes, like, my kids and I will read the rabbit trail, but we won't go any further than that usually. There's been a couple times where my kids have been really interested in what the rabbit trail was, or even coming up with their own rabbit trails, and so then we'll do that, but not usually, and that's okay with me. If they do feel like they want a rabbit trail, then we'll do that, but it just hasn't been something that my kids have done a lot of, or myself. And so, like here, when it asks these questions here in the early elementary, they will be given a word bank to try and which I think is really good, because my daughter, it'll help like her remember, oh yeah, this is where that goes. Whereas my son works off of memory 100%, and so can just usually write out the answer. And so that is the end of that unit, and we can check out what flashcards are here in the appendix. So it looks like we get the Canadian National Anthem, and then the Star Spangled Banner, which I do, since I have the files, I do plan on printing this page out, the Star Spangled Banner page out, and laminating that and hanging it on our corkboard, because my daughter in this level already knows it, all of it, but that's just how her brain works. She can hear any song for the first time and automatically know it, whereas the rest of us need lots of practice and the lyrics. So that'll be fun for the rest of us to learn, because I honestly, as shameful as it is, I don't even know all of the words to it. So there's the additional resources, and then cutouts, and here's the flashcards that she will have for this unit. So it'll be the flags, and then here on the back will be the facts about that country. So that is all for early elementary. Final book that I have for the North America unit is going to be the upper elementary. And so the scope and sequence is going to be a lot similar to that of the one in early elementary as it was to there. And as you can see here for the reading log, here he will write out the title, his favorite part, the author, and the difference between the upper elementary and the early elementary is that it only required of my daughter to draw a picture, whereas as you can see, my son will have to write it out. So there's a table of contents again, and I will just get right to it. And I forgot to mention when I was talking about the early elementary, but in each lesson or in each unit, Gather Round Homeschool does have a project that your kid will be doing, and I think that is the hands-on activity that they've added to the teacher's guide. I think that's what that is, because I know in Africa, my kids in the Africa unit, my kids created a diorama, and then in the oceans unit, they did a writing project, and I'm pretty sure the earth science unit is also a writing project. So I think now there's just information about that in the teacher's guide, because I don't remember actually seeing all of that. Like, my kids would tell me about it. So it looks like there will be an oral presentation as well. So maybe this is the project and not the hands-on activity. It's kind of hard to know whenever I'm not actually in the unit right now. I'm just looking through the different books because I haven't planned anything out yet. So we are just doing a first look together. Oh, I think this is really cool. My son's gonna love being able to make his own word search. Then we've gotten to the appendix, and again he has "Oh Canada." I haven't looked at the lyrics. I don't know much about Canada, so I don't know if "Oh Canada" is different than the Canadian national anthem, because if you saw in the last book, my daughter had the Canadian national anthem, so maybe they are different. That'll be fun to learn. And then again, the Star Spangled Banner. The flashcards with the facts, and like I said, I will just cut these out for my kids and laminate them and probably attach them to a ring so that they don't get lost. And that is it for the upper elementary. So there you have it, guys. That is the look inside of the North America unit. If you guys have any questions or want to know anything that maybe I didn't explain very well while flipping through the books, please send me a message or leave a comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!